The Zentari flagship hung in the sky like a dark moon. Earth military forces scrambled jets and activated defense systems, but Sam knew it would not be enough. He had seen Zentari technology during his time at Outpost KC-47. Nothing Earth had could match their weapons. Kira grabbed his arm. "We must reach my ship," she said urgently. "My guards can contact my homeworld for help." Sirens wailed throughout Lakeside as emergency protocols activated Sam, and Kira moved through back streets avoiding the growing chaos. They reached the edge of town where forest began. A voice called out from behind them. "Freeze hands where I can see them." Agent Reeves stood with her weapon drawn, her partner flanking her side. "Step away from the alien," she ordered. Sam raised his hand slowly. "Agent, we don't have time for this. Look at the sky. That ship is Zentari. They're here to invade." "How convenient," Agent Reeves said coolly, "that this alien appears just as an unidentified craft enters our atmosphere." Kira spoke. "The Zentari followed me. Here I am. Princess Kira of the Alarian Collective. We are peaceful, but the Zentari are conquerors. They will destroy your world." Agent Reeves kept her weapon steady. "I have orders to bring you both in for questioning. Our scientists want to examine alien technology." A blinding light suddenly struck from above, vaporizing trees nearby. The shockwave knocked everyone to the ground. The Zentari had begun their attack. "Agent." Reeves stared at the destruction. Her training momentarily forgotten as the reality of the situation became clear. Sam helped Kira to her feet. "Still in your orders to take us in?" "Agent," he asked dryly. Agent Reeves holstered her weapon reluctantly. "My orders didn't account for alien invasions. How do we stop them? We reach my ship." Kira said, "We contact my people and we fight." The four of them ran into the forest as more energy beams struck the town behind them. The Zentari were methodically destroying infrastructure, communications, power facilities, defensive installations. The standard first wave of their invasion protocol. Kira's ship stood in a small clearing, its cloaking technology making it appear as a shimmer in the air rather than a solid object. Her guards, tall warriors with the same violet skin, but more imposing builds, emerged, weapons ready. "Princess," they said with relief, "we detected Zentari weapons fire. Prepare for immediate departure." Kira ordered, "We need to contact the Alarian fleet." Sam turned to Agent Reeves and her partner. "You should come with us. Earth needs representatives who understand what's happening." The agents exchanged looks before nodding. "We're coming," Agent Reeves said. "I'm Agent Lily Reeves, and this is Agent Maria Santana. We work for a special division that monitors potential extraterrestrial contact." The interior of Kira's ship was sleek and advanced beyond anything the human agents had seen. Technology that seemed like magic to human understanding. Sam had been aboard once before years ago, but the agents stared. In wonder, Kira's lead guard approached. "My princess, the Zentari have established orbital dominance. They are deploying ground forces." Standard invasion pattern. Sam moved to a display showing Earth tactical information. "They're focusing on military bases first," he said. "Then we'll move to population centers. We need to warn everyone." Agent Santana used her secure communication device to contact headquarters, but received only static. "The Zentari are jamming communications," she reported. "We need a plan." Sam said, turning to Kira. "Your guard said we can't contact your fleet." Why, Kira looked troubled. "The Zentari are using a signal dampening field. It extends throughout this star system. We cannot send or receive long-range communications. We are alone." The ship shuddered as a Zentari scout vessel passed overhead, searching for them. The cloaking held, but barely. "We cannot remain here." Kira's guard warned, "The cloaking systems are strained from atmospheric entry. We must relocate or risk detection," Sam thought, quickly studying the tactical displays. "Where are the Zentari ground forces concentrating?" "Northern continent." The guard replied. "They established a forward command center here." He pointed to a location in what humans called Canada. Sam nodded. "That makes sense. Remote area. Plenty of resources, strategic position. We need to get there. That's where their commander will be. If we can take out their command structure, it might buy us time." Agent Reeves looked skeptical. "You want us to attack the alien command center with just the 8 of us?" Sam smiled slightly. "I've faced worse odds." The Centauri are powerful, but they're arrogant. They don't expect resistance once their orbital bombardment begins. They certainly don't expect anyone to target their commanders. Kira agreed their hierarchy is rigid. Without direct command, their forces become disorganized. The ship rose silently into the air, staying low to avoid detection. Kira's guards prepared weapons while Sam outlined his plan to the agents. The Centauri forward base was a sprawling structure of dark metal mechanical constructs patrolled the perimeter, while Centauri officers directed the deployment of invasion forces from their hidden position on a nearby ridge. Sam observed the base through enhanced optics. These aren't just regular troops, he said. Seeing the distinctive armor of the soldiers, this is an elite legion, which means their commander is high-ranking. Kira finished his thought. Likely General Draz himself. Sam looked at her with surprise. You know him, Kira nodded grimly. He led the forces that tried to invade my homeworld 10 cycles ago. He is ruthless, efficient, and hates my people with particular passion. He would consider finding me here a bonus to his conquest. Agent Reeves studied the base defenses. Those energy barriers look impenetrable. They're not, Kira said. The barriers have a fluctuation cycle. Every 7 minutes there is a microsecond where the field recalibrates. We can use that moment to enter if we're precise. The plan took shape quickly. Kira and her guards would create a diversion, drawing forces to the east side of the compound. Sam and Agent Santana, who had combat experience, would infiltrate during the shield fluctuation. Agent Reeves would remain with the ship coordinating communications. As darkness fell, they moved into position. The Centauri continued their methodical conquest of Earth, oblivious to the small resistance forming. Their arrogance would be their weakness. Sam checked his borrowed Alarian weapon one last time. I never thought I'd be fighting alongside an alien princess to save Earth, he said to Kira with a slight smile. Kira's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture Sam recognized as amusement. I never thought I would return to find the human who saved me, only to have him save me again. Their moment was interrupted by Agent Santana. In position, she reported the shield fluctuation occurs in 3 minutes. Kira touched Sam's arm briefly before moving to her position with her guards. Be careful, Sam. Her gesture said more than words could. The night erupted with energy fire as Kira and her guards began their attack. The Centauri responded predictably, deploying forces to counter the threat. Now Sam whispered to Agent Santana. They slipped toward the base perimeter, counting down the seconds to the shield fluctuation. 3, 2, 1. The stars looked different from Earth, Kira thought as she gazed up at the night sky. She had traveled across 12 galaxies to find this small blue planet tucked away in an unremarkable solar system. Her royal guards had protested the journey, calling it foolish and dangerous, but she had to come. She had to find him. 10 Earth years had passed since that day. The day when her ship malfunctioned and crashed on a remote mining colony. The day when angry colonists surrounded her, believing her to be a spy from the rival Centauri Empire. The day when a human male stepped between her and certain death. Kira adjusted the perception filter on her wrist device, making her violet skin appear the pale tone of humans, and her 4 eyes merge into the appearance of 2. Her antenna retracted into her scalp. Completing the disguise, she stepped out of the cloaked ship and onto Earth soil for the first time. The settlement, called Lakeside, was small. Wooden structures lined a single main road. With various humans moving about their daily tasks, Kira had spent months learning Earth languages and customs from the central database, but being among humans was different. Overwhelming. She entered an establishment with a sign reading Diner, and sat at a small table. A human female approached wearing a uniform. Hello there. What can I get you today? The server asked. Kira hesitated, recalling proper responses. Just water, please, and information if possible. The server named Kate, according to her. Name tag raised an eyebrow. Information. Kira produced a small holographic image showing a human male approximately 30 years old with brown hair and a scar above his right eye. I am looking for this man. His name is Sam. He saved my life many years ago. Kate's eyes widened as she looked at the image. Well, I will be that sure. Looks like Sam Miller. He works at the garage down the street. Been here about 7 years now, keeps to himself. Mostly. Kira felt her secondary heart begin to race. She had Found him after all these years, thank you. The garage was a simple structure with large doors and the smell of mechanical fluids. Sam stood beneath a vehicle, his hands working skillfully on its underside. He had aged, slightly more lines on his face, his hair slightly longer, but it was him. The man who had once been part of Earth military forces stationed on outpost KC-47. The man who had stopped a mob from killing her. The man who had repaired her ship and sent her home without reporting her presence to his superiors. Sam rolled out from beneath the vehicle and froze when he saw her standing there. His eyes narrowed in confusion, then widened in recognition. Impossible. He whispered. Kira deactivated her perception filter, allowing her true form to become visible for just a moment before activating it again. It is me, she said. Sam quickly looked around, making sure no one had seen before, guiding her into a small office and closing the door. What are you doing here, he asked. How did you even find me? I searched across 12 galaxies for you. Kira replied, the coordinates from your outpost led me to your planet. Then I tracked military records and found your home settlement. Sam ran a hand through his hair. Why would you do that? To thank you and to warn you, Kira explained that the Zentari Empire had discovered her visit to the mining colony years ago. They had been hunting her ever since, believing she had shared forbidden technology with humans. They were coming to Earth, not just for her, but to assess if humans were a threat to their expansion. Sam looked troubled. I left the military years ago. I just fix cars. Now I wanted a quiet life. You were one of the best tactical officers in Earth forces. Kira said, I researched you thoroughly. Before coming here, your people will need you when the Zentari arrive. How long do we have? Sam asked, his military instincts taking over. They follow my trail. Kira replied. Perhaps days. Perhaps hours. Sam paced the small office, running through options. In his mind, I need to contact my old commander, warn them what's coming. Kira nodded. I brought data on Zentari ships, weapons, capabilities, and weaknesses. My royal guards are waiting with my ship outside town. They can help. Outside the garage, a black government vehicle pulled up. 2 agents stepped out, scanning the area with electronic devices. One looked at a handheld scanner, picking up unusual energy. Readings agent Lily Reeves adjusted her dark glasses and motioned to her partner. The scanner detected alien technology, just as their superiors had predicted. The government had been monitoring unusual signals for weeks. Something had entered Earth atmosphere undetected. Something with technology far beyond human capabilities. Inside we go. Agent Reeves said, her hand resting on her weapon. Sam noticed the vehicle through the office window. Government agents. He whispered, they must have detected your technology. We need to leave now. Kira followed Sam through a back door as the agents entered the front of the garage. They ran down an alley, Sam leading the way through the town he knew well. They could hear shouts behind them as the agents discovered they had fled. We need to reach my ship. Kira said, it's hidden in the forest outside town. Helicopter appeared overhead, searchlights scanning the streets. Sam pulled Kira into a doorway, narrowly avoiding the light. They must have known you were coming, he said. This is more than a random check. Kira looked troubled. I was careful. My ship has the best cloaking technology. Unless Sam began, then stopped, his eyes widening in realization. Unless they detected the Zentari ships, they must be closer than we thought. The night sky suddenly lit up with a brilliant flash. A massive object appeared, in orbit, visible even from the ground. Panic erupted in the streets as people pointed skyward. Some ran, others stood frozen in fear. Sam stared at the sky. That's not good. The Zentari flagship had arrived. 12 miles of advanced alien technology designed for one purpose: conquest. The Earth was about to face its greatest threat, and Kira, the alien princess, was the only one who truly understood what was coming. And Sam, the retired military officer who just wanted to fix cars in peace, was the only human who had ever fought a Zentari and lived to tell about it. Sam and Agent Santana slipped through the shield barrier. In the split second it fluctuated. The timing was perfect, just as Kira had predicted. They pressed themselves against a dark metal wall as Zentari troops rushed past, heading toward the diversion. The interior of the base was dimly lit with pulsing red lights. The architecture was angular and imposing. designed to intimidate. Sam recalled his briefings on Zentari psychology from his military days. Everything about them projected dominance, and Fear Agent Santana checked a small device Kira had given her. "This shows the command center is 3 levels down," she whispered. They moved through the corridors, avoiding patrols. Sam noticed the Zentari had already begun processing Earth resources. Containers of water minerals and biological samples lined some passageways. The invasion was proceeding faster than he had feared. A door slid open ahead of them. Quickly they ducked into a side chamber, finding themselves in what appeared to be a laboratory. Human subjects floated in suspension tanks, unconscious, being studied by Zentari scientists. Sam felt rage building inside him but maintained control. They needed to stick to the plan, disable the command center first, then they could free prisoners. Agent Santana looked horrified. "They're experimenting on people. We'll come back for them," Sam promised. "First we complete the mission." They continued downward through the base, using access tunnels to avoid main corridors. The command center was heavily guarded as expected. 4 Zentari elite guards stood at the entrance, their armor more elaborate than regular troops. Sam studied them from shadow. "We need a distraction, Agent." Santana smiled and pulled a small device from her pocket. "Standard issue for my division, creates an electromagnetic pulse. Should disrupt their systems temporarily." She activated the device and tossed it down the corridor away from their position. It detonated with a soft whump. As expected, alarms blared and the guards moved to investigate. Sam and Santana slipped into the command center, finding it minimally staffed. Most officers having joined the main invasion efforts. A single commander remained, studying holographic displays of Earth. The commander turned. Sensing their presence, his 4 yellow eyes narrowing. "Humans," he hissed in surprise. "You should not be here." Sam fired his weapon, but the commander moved with surprising speed, dodging the energy blast. The Zentari drew his own weapon, firing rapidly, forcing Sam and Santana to take cover behind control consoles. Outside, Kira and her guards continued their diversion, but found themselves increasingly outnumbered. The Zentari had deployed battle mechs, large robotic units with devastating firepower. "Princess, we cannot hold much longer," her lead guard shouted as energy blasts tore through the forest around them. Kira knew the plan was falling apart. They needed more time to ensure Sam could complete his mission. She made a decision that went against all her training and royal protocols. "I will reveal myself," she declared. "The Zentari want me above all else. It will draw their forces." Her guards protested, but Kira had made her choice. She deactivated her perception filter, stepping into a clearing where she could be clearly seen by Zentari scouts. She activated her royal beacon, a signal that would identify her to any Zentari sensors. The effect was immediate. A priority alert sounded throughout the Zentari forces. Alarian Royal detected capture. Priority Alpha. The battle mechs turned away from the guards, focusing entirely on Kira inside the base. The commander received the alert. His yellow eyes widened. "Princess Kira." He growled the high prize. He turned to a console, pressing command. Sam recognized his opportunity and fired, striking the commander in the shoulder. The Zentari howled in pain but remained standing. His return fire nearly hit Agent Santana. "We need access to that main console," Sam called, moving to flank the commander. Agent Santana provided covering fire as Sam circled the room. The wounded commander backed toward the main controls, determined to keep them away. Sam had faced Zentari before. He knew their weaknesses. Their lower back contained sensitive nerve clusters. A well-placed strike could incapacitate them. He lunged forward, ducking under energy fire, and struck with precision. The commander collapsed temporarily, paralyzed. Sam pushed him aside and accessed the main control system. Agent Santana secured the commander. While Sam worked the alien interface, Kira had taught him basic Zentari command protocols. During their brief reunion before the invasion, he found what he was looking for: the shield controls and communication systems. Sam disabled the base's defenses and activated the emergency evacuation protocol. Alarms blared with a different tone, signaling all Zentari to return to ships. An apparent recall order. The commander hissed from the floor. "What have you done?" Human Sam smiled, slightly created confusion. "According to this, the flagship is ordering immediate withdrawal. Your ground forces should be quite disorganized now. Outside, Kira watched in surprise as the battle mechs suddenly turned and began returning to the base. The Zentari troops followed, abandoning their pursuit. The diversion worked. She realized Sam had succeeded, but her victory was short-lived. A massive transport ship descended from above. A spotlight found her in the clearing and a gravitic beam activated, pulling her upward. Guards fired at the ship, but their weapons could not penetrate its shields. Kira struggled against the pull, but found herself lifted off the ground, her body immobilized by the beam inside. The base Sam and Agent Santana felt the vibrations of ships launching. "I think our fake evacuation order worked too well," she said. Sam checked the external cameras and saw Kira being captured. "No," he gasped. "They have her." The commander laughed from his position on the floor. "You fools, General Draz himself has come for the princess. Your little victory means nothing." Sam turned to Agent Santana. "We need to get to the landing pad now." They ran from the command center, finding the base in chaos. Zentari troops were rushing to ships, believing a retreat had been ordered. They blended into the movement, making their way upward. Reaching the landing area, they saw a massive ship unlike the others, its design more elaborate, its weapons more numerous. General Draz's personal vessel Kira was being led up a ramp into the ship, surrounded by elite guards. Sam knew they had only moments before the ship would depart. With her, Agent Reeves' voice came through their communicators. "I see what's happening. I'm bringing the ship to you." Kira's royal vessel decloaked above the landing area, firing precision shots at Zentari defenses. Agent Reeves had learned the weapon systems quickly. The distraction allowed Sam and Agent Santana to make their move. They charged across the landing area, firing at the elite guards surrounding Kira. The guards returned fire, forcing them to dive for cover behind supply containers. Kira saw Sam and called out, "They're taking me to the flagship. The invasion will continue from orbit." A Zentari officer struck her, silencing her words. The ramp began to close as the ship prepared for liftoff. Sam made a desperate decision. He sprinted toward the closing ramp, firing continuously. Agent Santana provided covering fire, taking down 2 guards. The ramp was nearly closed when Sam dove sliding through the narrowing gap into the ship. The ship lifted off, carrying both Kira and Sam. The last thing Agent Santana saw was Sam disappearing into the Zentari vessel before it accelerated toward the orbiting flagship. Agent Reeves landed near Agent Santana and Kira's ship. "What happened?" she asked. "Where's Sam?" Agent Santana pointed to the sky. "He went after her." They're headed to the flagship aboard the Zentari vessel. Sam hid in the cargo area, listening as Kira was taken to a secure holding area. He heard the name General Draz spoken with reverence and fear. He needed a plan to free Kira before they reached the flagship Earth. Forces continued to fight the invasion, but were badly outmatched. Without the Alarian princess to contact her people, humanity stood little chance. And Sam, the retired military officer who just wanted a peaceful life, was now aboard an enemy ship headed into the heart of the Zentari fleet. The only human to have infiltrated a Zentari warship, and perhaps the last hope for both Kira and Earth. The Zentari transport ship docked with the massive flagship hanging in Earth orbit. Sam remained hidden among cargo containers as Kira was escorted away by guards. He had managed to avoid detection during the short journey, but now faced the challenge of navigating a Zentari flagship with thousands of enemy troops. Sam waited until the cargo bay emptied, then slipped out. He wore the stolen armor of a Zentari maintenance worker taken from a storage locker during the flight. The helmet concealed his human features, though the fit was poor, Zentari being taller than humans. The flagship was enormous beyond any vessel humans had conceived. Its corridors stretched for miles. Internal transport systems moved troops and supplies. A small city dedicated to conquest. Sam accessed a data terminal using codes he remembered from his military training. The Zentari had not changed their basic systems in years, overconfident in their superiority. He located Kira being held in a high-security section near the command deck. General Draz would want her close to monitor personally. On Earth, Agent Santana and Agent Reeves worked with Kira's royal guards to coordinate resistance. Kira's ship maintained its cloak, orbiting the planet and observing Zentari movements. The guards had managed to bypass some of the communication jamming. sending limited messages to Earth military forces. Many believed the alien ship was conducting experiments. Agent Reeves explained to the Joint Chiefs of Staff on a secured channel. But this is a full-scale invasion. General Draz aims to claim Earth for the Zentari Empire. A military general frowned into the camera. Why should we trust you, or these aliens? Agent Santana stepped forward because right now they're the only allies we have, and Sam Miller, former tactical officer now on their flagship, is our best hope aboard the flagship. Sam moved through service corridors, avoiding patrols. He had studied Zentari ship designs during his military days, though never imagined he would be putting that knowledge to use inside one. He reached a maintenance shaft that would take him near the detention level. His progress was slow but steady. The Zentari were focusing on the invasion, not internal security. Kira sat in her cell, a force field shimmering across the entrance. She had maintained her royal bearing, refusing to show weakness before her captors. General Draz had visited briefly, gloating over her capture. "Your world will fall, Kira," he had said, "and you will watch as we take your human pets as slaves. Fitting punishment for your interference in Zentari affairs." Kira had remained silent, knowing any reaction would only please him. She needed to find a way to contact her people. The Alarian fleet could challenge the Zentari. If only she could break through the jamming field. The guard outside her cell suddenly stiffened, then collapsed. Sam stood behind him, lowering the stunned guard to the floor. "Sam," she whispered as he approached the force field. Sam examined the control panel. "I need to disable this without triggering alarms." He worked carefully, bypassing security protocols. The field flickered, then disappeared. Kira stepped out quickly. Embrace brief but intense. "We need to reach the communication center," she said. "It's our only hope." Sam nodded. "I saw it on the ship schematic, 10 levels up, heavily guarded. We have no choice." Kira replied, "The invasion proceeds while we speak. Earth forces cannot withstand Zentari technology." They moved through the detention level, avoiding cameras. Sam's stolen armor providing some cover. Kira walked as if his prisoner should they encounter others. The deception worked through 2 checkpoints. Zentari soldiers assuming Sam was transferring the prisoner on orders. On the 9th level, their luck ran out. A security officer stopped them. "Transfer orders," he demanded. Sam froze, uncertain how to respond. Zentari language was complex, and his armor did not include a translator. Kira spoke instead in perfect Zentari. "General, Draz commands my presence on the bridge." She infused her voice with royal authority, a tone that made lesser Zentari hesitate. The officer wavered, then shook his head. "Protocol requires verification. Wait here." He turned toward a communication panel. Sam acted quickly, striking the officer at the base of the skull with his weapon. The Zentari dropped, but an alarm began to sound. Their presence was now known. "They know," Sam said grimly. "We need to move faster." They ran, abandoning stealth for speed. Zentari soldiers appeared at corridor junctions, forcing them to change direction. Several times they barely escaped capture. Sam's knowledge of the ship layout proving crucial. On Earth the situation grew more desperate. Zentari ground forces had established control over key locations, military bases, communication centers, power facilities. Reports of human experimentation and resource extraction came from occupied territories. Agent Reeves coordinated with resistance cells from Kira's cloaked ship. They're systematically processing the planet, she reported to Kira's guards, just as they did on other worlds. The lead guard nodded grimly. The princess spoke of this. They see planets as resources to be harvested. We must hope she succeeds in contacting our fleet aboard the flagship. Sam and Kira reached the communication center level. Zentari soldiers blocked the main approach, armed with heavy weapons. "We can't fight through them." Sam said, "There are too many." Kira studied a ship schematic on a nearby terminal. The environmental system, she pointed. "We can access the communication center through maintenance tunnels." They located an access panel and climbed into the ship's infrastructure. The narrow passages were hot and filled with pipes and conduits. Sam struggled in the Zentari armor, eventually discarding pieces to move more freely. They emerged in a service area adjacent to the communication center. 3 Zentari technicians worked at control stations, unaware of their presence. Sam stunned one technician, while Kira moved with surprising speed, disabling the other two. Her royal combat training evident in her efficient movements. Kira immediately went to the main communication array, while Sam secured the entrance princess. She said, "This will take time. The Zentari encryption is complex. Sam, check the captured weapons charge. I'll buy you as much time as I can." Alarms continued to sound throughout the ship. Security teams converged on their location. Sam barricaded the entrance using equipment and furniture. A makeshift defense that would not hold long. Kira worked frantically, her 4 hands moving across controls with precision. She had to break through the jamming field and send a distress signal with Earth coordinates. The fate of 2 worlds depended on her success. General Draz received reports of the escape and breach of the communications center. His yellow eyes narrowed with rage. The princess had help. A human, according to reports. Impossible, yet happening. Secure that center, Draz commanded. "Nothing must be sent. I want the princess recaptured immediately." Sam watched as Zentari forces assembled outside the barricaded door. They were bringing heavy weapons. This position would not hold much longer. "How much more time do you need?" he called. Takarashi didn't look up from her work. "The jamming field is complex. I've almost broken through." "Just a few more minutes." The first blast hit the barricade, shaking the room. Sam returned fire, forcing the Zentari to take cover. The exchange continued, with the barricade slowly disintegrating under sustained fire. On Earth, Agent Reeves noticed a change in the sensor readings. "The jamming field is fluctuating." She told the Royal Guards, "Something's happening." The lead guard moved quickly to the ship's communication array, attempting to establish contact with the Alarian fleet. The signal was weak but present. For the first time since arriving at Earth, they could send a message aboard the flagship. Kira shouted in triumph, "Signal sent. The Alarian fleet will receive our coordinates." Sam smiled briefly before another blast rocked the room. The barricade was failing. Zentari troops would break through any moment. "We need to move," he said. "There must be another exit." Kira shook her head. "There isn't. They've surrounded us." Sam looked around the room, spotting environmental controls. "What about these? Can we use them?" Kira examined the systems and nodded quickly. "These control atmosphere for this section. We can create a diversion." They work together, adjusting settings. Sam's military training complementing Kira's technical knowledge. The ventilation systems reversed, sending smoke and cooling gases into the corridors outside. The Zentari assault paused as visibility dropped and breathing became difficult. Sam and Kira used the confusion to break through a side panel into an adjacent service area. They had temporarily escaped, but were still deep within enemy territory. With the signal sent, their mission had changed. Find a way off the flagship. Before Zentari forces captured or killed them, General Draz received reports of the signal breach. "No," he roared, slamming his fist into a control panel. "The Alarians cannot be allowed to interfere." "But sir," an officer reported, "the signal was sent. The Alarian fleet will know our location." Draz turned, his rage evident. "We accelerate the invasion, extract what we need from this world, and prepare to depart before their fleet arrives. No witnesses, no survivors." On Earth, Agent Reeves watched in horror as the Zentari attacks intensified. Cities now targeted, not just military installations. "They're speeding up," she realized. "They know help is coming. Help that would take time to arrive. Time Earth might not have." And somewhere on that massive flagship, Sam and Kira were running for their lives, trying to find a way home. Sam and Kira moved through the flagship, avoiding patrols and security sweeps. Their options for escape were limited. The hangar bays would be heavily guarded, standard escape pods monitored. "We need to reach a tactical fighter." Sam said, "Those have independent launch systems and can break orbit quickly." Kira nodded. "Fighters are kept in the secondary launch bay during invasion protocols. Less security, more focus on deployment." They navigated toward the launch bay using service corridors and maintenance shafts. Sam had discarded the bulky Zentari armor, now moving more freely, though more visibly human. Their progress was slow, hampered by increased security alert. Status on Earth. The situation grew increasingly desperate. Zentari harvester ships descended on major cities, extracting resources and processing humans. The acceleration of their plans evident in their reckless approach. Agent Santana coordinated resistance fighters from a hidden base in the mountains. We hit them here and here, she indicated, on a map targeting their supply lines. It won't stop them, but it might slow them down. Agent Reeves monitored communications from Kira's ship, receiving fragmented updates from Earth military. Any word from the Ilarian fleet. The lead guard checked the long-range sensors. Nothing yet, but they will come. The princess's signal contained emergency royal protocols. The fleet will respond with all available ship show. Long Agent Reeves asked. The guard hesitated. 12 Earth hours at minimum. Agent Reeves looked grim. Earth might not have 12 hours. Aboard the flagship, Sam and Kira reached a junction near the secondary launch bay. 2 corridors ahead, Centauri troops guarded the entrance. Kira studied them. 8 guards, standard security protocol. They won't expect an attack from inside the ship. Sam assessed their weapons and position. We can create a diversion in the adjacent cargo bay, draw some of them away. They located a cargo loading system and sabotaged it. The resulting crash and alarms drew half the guards away from their position. Sam and Kira engaged the remaining guards in a brief firefight. Sam's borrowed Centauri weapon and Kira's royal energy staff making short work of the unprepared soldiers. The launch bay contained rows of Centauri, tactical fighters, sleek vessels designed for atmospheric and space combat. Sam examined the nearest one. Can you fly this? Kira moved to the control interface. Similar to our ships, she said with royal authority. I can adapt. An alarm sounded throughout. The bay intruder. Alert, secure all vessels. Centauri troops poured in from multiple entrances. Sam provided covering fire as Kira accessed the fighter systems. The canopy opened, allowing them to climb inside. The controls activated, responding to Kira's commands. We have incoming, Sam warned as more troops entered, firing at the fighter. The ship's armor deflected the energy blasts, but heavier weapons would arrive soon. Kira worked frantically to override the launch protocols. The fighter's engines hummed, to life, lifting slightly from the deck. The bay doors remained closed, blocking their escape. Sam spotted the emergency controls near the bay entrance. I need to get to those controls to open the doors before Kira could protest. He slipped from the fighter and ran using cargo containers as cover. His borrowed Centauri weapon fired continuously, creating chaos among the troops. Reaching the control panel, Sam activated the emergency launch sequence designed for rapid fighter deployment during battle. The massive bay doors began to slide open, revealing the starfield beyond, and Earth, beautiful and blue, partially obscured by Centauri ships. General Draz entered the bay, surrounded by elite guards. The human's audacity infuriated him. No mere human had ever caused such disruption to Centauri plans. Sam saw Draz and recognized the elaborate armor of a Centauri general. The stories Kira had told made this enemy unmistakable. Their eyes met across the bay, hatred evident in the general's yellow gaze. Kira called from the fighter. Sam, we must go now. Sam turned toward the fighter, but Centauri troops blocked his path. He knew he couldn't reach it. Kira understood too, her expression visible through the canopy, communicating what words couldn't go. Sam shouted to her, "Get back to Earth, warn them. The fleet is coming." Kira hesitated, torn between duty and personal feelings, but she was royal trained since birth to make the hard choices. She activated the fighter's thrusters, the vessel lifting higher. Sam provided covering fire as the fighter turned toward the open bay doors. Energy blasts from Centauri weapons scored the hull but failed to penetrate. The fighter accelerated, suddenly shooting through the opening into space. General Draz roared with anger as the fighter escaped. Stop them. He ordered all batteries fire. Sam used the distraction to move, setting his weapon to overload. The Centauri emergency protocols would be the same as they were years ago when he studied them. Overload the weapon near the atmosphere regulation systems, and the explosion rocked the launch bay, knocking troops from their feet. Alarms blared as atmospheric pressure dropped. Emergency force fields activated too late to prevent significant damage. Draz grabbed Sam by the throat, lifting him off the ground. You have cost me the princess human. For that you will suffer before you die. Sam smiled. Despite the pain, she will bring an armada to your doorstep. He gasped. Your invasion is over. On Earth. Kira's fighter appeared. In the atmosphere pursued by Zentari interceptors, Agent Reeves tracked the vessel from their hidden location. Princess, is that you? Kira's voice came through, damaged but recognizable. I have returned, Sam. He. She paused, emotion breaking through her. Royal composure. He stayed behind. Created my escape. The fighter landed near their hidden base. Kira emerged, visibly exhausted and grieving. Agent Santana approached. What happened to Sam? He sacrificed himself to ensure my escape. Kira replied, we must prepare Earth defenses. The Alarian fleet comes, but we must hold until then. In orbit, the Zentari flagship continued the invasion. General Draz interrogated Sam, personally determined to extract information about Earth defenses and Alarian plans. The humans' resistance impressed even the hardened general. Most species broke quickly under Zentari methods. What makes your kind so stubborn? Draz demanded after another failed interrogation session. Sam looked up, blood trickling from a cut on his face. Humanity, he said simply. We don't give up. Even when we should. Draz was about to respond when alarms sounded throughout the ship. A junior officer entered urgently. General, long-range sensors detect multiple ships approaching Alarian signatures. The Alarian fleet had arrived sooner than expected. A battle group of 20 warships dropped from hyperspace, weapons charged and shields raised. Kira's royal beacon had brought the fastest response vessels first, with more to follow. General Draz ordered his ships to battle formation. But the Zentari were caught unprepared, focused on the invasion. The Alarians struck with precision targeting engines and weapon systems. The flagship rocked with impacts. As shields failed, Sam used the chaos to break, free from his restraints. The ship shuddered under Alarian fire systems failing throughout. He navigated toward escape pods, knowing the flagship would not survive this battle. On Earth, Kira coordinated with human forces, watching as Zentari ground. Troops suddenly lost communication with their command ships. The invaders faltered, confused, without central direction. The Zentari flagship broke apart under sustained fire. General Draz ordered evacuation, his invasion plans in ruins. His escape craft, launched with dozens of others fleeing the destruction. Agent Reeves tracked escape pods entering Atmosphere 1 is landing nearby. Not Zentari configuration. Kira's eyes widened with hope. It can't be. They rushed to the landing site, finding a standard escape pod, its design familiar to Kira. The hatch opened slowly, revealing Sam, battered but alive. Kira moved forward, her royal composure forgotten. She embraced him, tears flowing freely from all four eyes. I thought I had lost you. Sam held her gently, his own emotions evident. I told you once I would always help you escape. I meant it. The skies cleared as Zentari ships retreated, pursued by Alarian vessels. Earth had survived its first contact with hostile aliens and gained powerful allies in the process. 1 week later, representatives from Earth governments met with Alarian officials, Kira serving as primary diplomat. The alliance formalized technology-sharing defense agreements. Cultural exchange. Agent Reeves, now promoted to director of the new Alien Relations Division, watched as Sam entered the conference room. Sam had become Earth's unofficial ambassador to the Alarians. His unique position as both military veteran and the man who had helped their princess twice, making him ideal. For the role, you're looking better. She noted his injuries healing. Sam nodded, hard to believe. A week ago, I was just fixing cars in Lakeside now. He gestured to the delegates representing worlds light years apart. Worlds he had helped bring together. Kira approached wearing formal royal attire, but her eyes found only Sam. Her guards maintained a respectful distance, understanding the unique bond between their princess and this human. My people have approved extended diplomatic presence on Earth. Kira said I will remain as ambassador. She paused, adding more softly, if you approve. Sam smiled, the life he had sought, quiet and anonymous, no longer possible or desired. The stars that had once seemed distant now represented new possibilities. A universe, opened by chance encounter and strengthened by sacrifice. I can't think of a better ambassador, Sam said, and I'll be here to help you understand humans, though I'm not sure I'm the best example. Kira's expression softened. You represent the best of humanity, Sam. Courage, sacrifice, loyalty. These are values my people respect. These are values I respect.